Well, hello there, and welcome to this more serious than normal clip. What I'm going to be talking about in this short video is something I've had difficulty explaining to people in the past because wording it is difficult. So I figured creating a video presentation would be useful. There's something I call, for myself, face blindness, even though it's not actually officially that, but it kind of is. So the thing is, something that many others may have experienced as well, and there's studies on it. So I know I'm not the only one out there. It's a trait of related to being on the autism spectrum, as far as studies can tell and whatnot. It's different from the normal face blindness type condition where people cannot see faces. I can actually see faces when I'm looking at them. There is the key point: looking at them. The problem I have is rebuilding them in my head. Basically, as far as the theories go in different studies, although this is not going to be a study related uh, or info related type video. If you're looking for the actual data from studies, you'll have to check elsewhere. Could put some links somewhere. You can't do that on TikTok. So if you message me, I'll send you links to some studies I've read. But this is more about my personal perspective as someone on the spectrum. What I call face blindness seems to be a visual processing thing, where my brain doesn't store the data of a face properly, so I have difficulty rebuilding them, which is difficult to understand even with myself with those words, which is why I'm making this video. See, what I try to do, there's a difference between what I try to do in my head when I'm trying to remember a face and what actually happens. What I'm trying to do is rebuild a face in the same, pretty much in the same process every time, starting with the structure of the eyes and then building out the rest of the face slowly, bringing in the chin and the forehead, something like this. A little, just resembling the eyes. You got a little structure there, and the face. As it slowly builds it up, you want to get the whole face and bring it in there so you can see what's happening. Now, what actually happens for me is, which may differ for those with the same kind of difficulties, may build differently, have more be able to build less, be able to build more. Difference. I know it differs from individual to individual. Not everyone on the autism spectrum has this trait because, much like every other symptom, it seems to be a grab bag rather than having every symptom to meet it. What happens for me is something more like I start trying to build up the structure of the face in my head, and it starts out lacking in detail. The eye color and details like that are kind of bland, and as I slowly build it up, it loses more detail, becomes more distinguishable, and kind of like almost like it's far away, and I can't complete the building of the face without destabilizing, basically. Something like this. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Starts out the same, but lacking more details in the eyes, and then start to build the structure of the face, but there's some warping as it gets more and more detailed, and refuses to hold together. And that's what happens every time I try to rebuild a face in my head. And it can be worse with more difficult faces and easier with more simple ones. Someone with a beard, I can make out more of the face before it becomes destabilized or destructured, because I simplify it in my skull or my head. What's worse about this is the harder I try to rebuild the stable faces, the more destabilized all images become. Something as simple as a background will become impossible to see. What'll happen is the normal scene will warp. Flat lines won't stay straight, and it will continue and make me motion sick for an extended period of time. I've had it happen for a few minutes to an hour to a few hours, generally until the entire attempt goes out of my head. It doesn't stop. I don't entirely know why I can't recall faces. This is all faces. The faces of people I see every day, a face I've just looked at and looked away from. My own face I can't even fully rebuild inside my head. Uh, it is something I didn't really realize it happened when I was younger, even though I realized it knew it was happening. I thought it was normal. Faces are just wouldn't hold together, and that's actually part of the reason why anyone who follows my art will see I don't do full-on realism. Even self-portrait attempts are more have a slight cartoonish or anime style to them. Even the drawings I just showed there for those animations I did I cannot rebuild them in my head. I have to be drawing them in order to rebuild that structure, and I'll use guidelines. The circles, the shape of the general head, the eyes, and all that when I'm building it. I can recall the general concepts, the color and what I like say for my face on here, but I can't rebuild the full thing, which is why I simplify it. I know that this is not an uncommon trait. Because I've seen research studies different places posted for different journals. The general reason seems to be uncertain, but believed to be how the visual processing center is used differently on those in the autism spectrum. It might not be in the autism spectrum in general. It might be a separate condition that's comorbid that commonly reoccurs. Don't know. They haven't exactly found the reason for that yet. I will say before moving on or ending this off, if you think you have this symptom or any symptoms for any mental disorder, do not self-diagnose. Pretty much every diagnosis in the DSM-5 has like 3 or 4 really close disorders or symptoms or diagnoses that are different by like maybe 1 or 2 traits. And sometimes the cause of disorder can be a physical health issue. If you think you have a disorder, talk to a professional, make sure it's not something else dangerous or life-threatening or anything like that so you can get the proper help. But again, I don't know what's up with the face structure thing, why I have this issue. I just realized I struggle with this, and explaining it to people as well is really difficult. So I want to make a short clip for anyone who has similar issues or just someone who's interested to understand it. Whether you show it to people so you can get them to understand, oh, this is what happens to me. Or I've heard it, or just learning something new. Whatever reason you find enjoyment in this video or whatnot, or you hated it because I told you self-diagnosis isn't a thing, or isn't a good idea, it's a thing, just don't do it. I hope that you found some use or even some entertainment in my little clips here. I now fully understand why cartoons took so long for each episode. That was several hours of work for those short clips. Anyways, I hope I explained this well enough. It's kind of hard to explain something that's commonly occurred in your own brain for as long as you can recall outside. But if anyone has any questions or just wants to talk about something similar or know someone similar, message me on TikTok, YouTube. Go to my Twitch channel. All of them are linked on the different places. I'll be posting this in my link tree. For most places, I am Lord Jabu, Lord_Jabu. A lot of places because getting Lord Space Jabu is difficult in usernames. Either way, thank you for watching me ramble on and explain why I call something face blindness, even though it's not really that. So if you ask me to remember what someone looks like when I say I can't, I'm face blind, that's what I mean. I mean, either I just can't rebuild the face in my head, or I will get motion sick if I try too hard. So I just say I can't. Either way, thank you for watching.